And hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy October. Welcome to Get a Grip with Coach Elix. I'm your host, Coach Elix. With me, my amazing co host, um, Stephen the Medium, should be in the house. My husband, my amazing husband.
Oops, hi, how are you? Good and you? Stephen the Medium's here.
Oh, God. So,
I was on
so
mute, sorry.
okay. So, Stephen, we are super excited because today marks our 100th episode of Get a Grip with Coach Elix. How exciting is that?
Yay! It's so exciting.
It is so exciting. Over 3 years ago, on August 21st, 2020, Stephen, can you believe it?
It just flew by.
Yeah, you and I launched Get a Grip with Coach Elix, the radio show, and I cannot believe that we are getting to the 100th episode. And this became a reality because of you.
Well, I love that you say that, but I just knew this was something that you were going to excel, in with, and you, the guests, what you've given people, Elix, is just amazing.
And and again, also, thank you, but it was also you created the opening for me to step into this because you had your radio show before mine for 2 years, and I got to co-host with you, and I got to learn about the show with you, and I also got to meet a very important person for both of us. You know who that is?
Um, Let me think a minute. It could be a number of people, but I think it may be Mark Clark.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. Our producer, Mark Clark, who you met for the first time when you guys went to your introduction at the radio station, right?
Our proposals for our show, and we sat in the same conference room. And I remember seeing Mark. This was July, it was July or June of 2018. And lo and behold, we can't get rid of him now.
I know. And over the years, we've met Mark, his mom, Miss Ellie, who was a very close friend of my mom. We met Mr. Clark. And Mark has become a part of our family. He is
Yes.
a part of our family.
Yes.
So how lucky are we? So it's been has been a journey of joy, laughter, inspiration, and even tears, really, as we inspire our audience through our guest speakers and the tools, the tips, the strategies that that I like to provide people so that they can step into living their best version of their life. And I hope, Stephen, that I do that every day.
You do. I'm not sure if I missed it, but did you also tie in Mark produces both our shows?
No, I didn't. So you can talk about that.
No. We just talked about Mark, and in addition to what we said,
Oh, thank you.
Mark produces both your show, Get a Grip with Coach Elix, and my show Through the Static for many years, 5 years for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if I started in 2020, you started 2 years before me. So yeah, 5 years. That's incredible.
Yes.
Incredible. So Mark is clearly a very, very important member of our team. Coincidentally, Stephen, is also my birthday tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, tomorrow. And
You forgot?
well, yeah, it's my birthday. So today it's really all about celebration, and I'm so
Yes.
thrilled about it. So over the next hour, we're going to have a number of guests that we've invited to call in, and they're going to join us. They're going to share with us a little bit about, their experience in being in the show, being on the show with us, and what they're up to. So I have no idea. I know we have two people on the line. I have no idea who they are. So let's start with the first one. Hello, welcome to Get a Grip with Coach Elix. Who is this?
Who is this?
Yes.
Well, this is a fast-talking Italian from South Attleboro that worked with you to do a movie a few years back.
Steven, Mr. Frank Durant.
Frank.
How amazing. I know,
How-
Frank, that we had a number of guests coming, but I had no idea who was going to be on the line. So what a surprise. How awesome to have you back. Steven, how exciting is it to have Frank?
Leave it to Frank to be the first. Just saying.
First, hopefully not the last, right? There you go.
Never the last. So, Frank, clearly, thank you for calling. Thank you for celebrating my 100th, our 100th episode on the radio. You've been up to pretty amazing things. Tell us about what's been happening over the last year.
Well, honestly, I think we could all say the last year has been full of gratitude from so many people that we worked with and the lives we touched. Where, we'll get an email or text or a phone call from somebody just reminding us the importance of the documentary that we worked on together, Steve's involvement, and just everything we did to really touch the lives of so many people. So it's been a very good year of just reminding ourselves that, the people we talk to, the projects we do, the lives we touch, it all matters for the common good.
Absolutely. And so for those listening from Massachusetts and across the world, Frank Duran is the director of the documentary about Lady of the Dunes, who was a very, very, probably the most famous unsolved case in Massachusetts, and he made global news recently when her body was discovered, and eventually they resolved the case. They closed the case, right, Frank?
No, the case was officially closed. I want to say about a month ago from today. The new district attorney gave a full report and said that the case is now officially closed.
Wow. Stephen, what was that experience like for you? Because you played a very instrumental role in that documentary.
Yeah, I mean, it was my first documentary that I was in, that I learned the ropes via Frank. Helped me with so much of this. And Elix, you and I have catapulted with knowledge and just so much information based on Frank. But the fact of the matter is, after almost 50 years of this woman not being identified, being found in 1974, and the documentary comes out, and subsequent to the documentary coming out, and there were, podcasts and documentaries about Lady of the Dunes, but Frank puts this together, and boom, October 31st of last year, she's identified. And then just a month ago or so, boom, they confirm it was her husband that killed her. This was just all Frank's documentary.
Yes. So, Frank, if people want to see the documentary, where would they find it?
Well, we do still have it on DVD available through Alpha Video, but if people are lazy and don't want to purchase a DVD, go right on YouTube and Google Lady of the Dunes documentary. It should be the first video that comes up. And in that video, Stephen, you pretty much told the audience a lot of clues, a lot of facts to say that it was Guy Moldovan, and she was speaking through you. And like I said, we were able to take that power and that truth and bring it to light with the documentary. So a lot of people will say, oh, well, they didn't get it right. I go, yeah, we did. Our project really influenced a lot of people that had the power to pick up the phone and make phone calls. And a lot of people who came to the premiere that we were at together down in Dennis, a lot of people were interested. This is about a year and a half, 2 years before they came up with the DNA. So I just know that our efforts did good. We did stir the storms, if you want to say, and we got the powerful people to do the right thing.
Yeah,
absolutely, Frank.
Frank, I will be honest. I feel very privileged that I got the opportunity to meet you through Stephen and the work that he did with you in the documentary, to get to know you, to get to know how resilient you were in the face of a lot of negativity, because there were many people who didn't want you to be doing this documentary. But you move forward no matter what, and the result speaks for itself.
Now, I'm hoping I can say something nice about you, Elix, if you'll give me the time.
Absolutely. Of course, you have absolutely time. I want to say many things about you, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, I remember the first time we met was at St. Peter's Cemetery in Provincetown when Stephen introduced you to me. And since that day, we've had maybe about 8, maybe 10 interactions. And I think all your listeners will agree that we'll have like a medical professional not even look at us when we're having a physical, or a lawyer or a politician make a speech and they don't look at you. Even a therapist will be looking and making notes when they're not looking at the patient. Every time we have a conversation or I see you interact with a client or a friend or just anybody, you look directly at them. You don't look through them. You don't look past them. And that's a great virtue I wish more people had, that when you engage, you give 100% of yourself to that individual, and that's more powerful than any price tag. I want you to know that you do that. You don't say something just to say it. You interact, but you also talk to the individual because they're the only thing that matters.
Well, Frank, thank you so much. I am privileged to know you, to have you, to call you a friend, and thank you for such a beautiful compliment. I appreciate it. I appreciate you, and I thank you so much for taking the time to call in and celebrate our 100th episode, Frank. And I look forward to having you again. So you know that this is an open invite. Yes.
Make sure people know that Frank did an episode on your show, so you can find that via podcast or via any vehicle that you have podcasts on. So you can look up Frank's name and you can listen to the whole show on Frank.
Absolutely. So we have the live show. After the live show gets recorded, it actually gets converted into a podcast. We have right now, as of today, 100 episodes, and you can find them. Get a grip. Look up "Get a Grip with Coach Elix" on your favorite podcast platform, and you can search for Frank Duran episode. And his episode is completely fascinating because that was in the midst of the documentary, the investigation. So, and as you can clearly hear, Frank is he's quite a character. So you do not want to miss that documentary and that interview. Frank, thank you so much
Thanks,
for joining
Frank.
us.
Be well, guys. Thank you so much.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I know we have another call, so let's do that other call before we take a commercial break. Hello, this is Elix. Who's this?
Hello. How are you, Elix?
Oh my God. So we have Dr. Johnson. As I just said, Dr. Johnson, I knew people were going to come in. I have no idea. You know, the producer is surprising me with the people, so I have no idea who's coming. So how exciting to have you back. Dr. Johnson, welcome. For those of you who are listening, Dr. Johnson was also on the show, I would say about a year, maybe a year and a half ago. Dr. Johnson is one of the most recognized physicians. Her title is urogynecologist. She's recognized in the field. She's one of the top experts and authority figures in the field. And she's also the director of the women's program at Greater Boston Urology. And I also consider her a friend, a colleague, and somebody that I have a lot of respect and, as you know, an admiration for. And Dr. Johnson is a force to be reckoned with. So how are you and what are you up to?
I am doing great. I'm in my office. You know, it's a Friday at 1 o'clock, Elix.
I know. I know.
But I had to stop in and just tell you how wonderful you are and celebrate this milestone. I had no doubt that when during a coaching call back in 2020, you said you had exciting news and that you were launching a talk, radio show, that you would get to your 100th episode, even during a pandemic, because you only shoot to win. And happy birthday! I almost slipped when I spoke to you earlier this week, so I didn't. It was tough for me to keep the secret for today's call.
Well, thank you. Dr. Johnson, I admire you. You know, one of the things I admire about Dr. Johnson is she's a female leader who's a force to be reckoned with, and she has something to say, and she's not afraid to speak up what she's got to say. She doesn't hold on for anyone. So that is quite a quality for anyone to take and own. So Stephen, anything you want to say to Dr. Johnson?
Yes, it's so nice to hear your voice, and another, that was a great, fantastic, fabulous episode that you did too. So I hope everybody seeks that podcast episode out, because Dr. Johnson is fabulous.
And Dr. Johnson,
for
those who are listening perhaps for the first time and hearing your name, why don't you tell them briefly about what it is that you do and why you are a top expert in that field, which is pretty unique?
Sure. So, my name is Angel Marie Johnson, and I'm a urogynecologist. My practice is in Dedham, Massachusetts, as part of Greater Boston Urology. And my mission or my intention is to help women survive and thrive by improving their bladder, vaginal, and bowel health. So when you think of your pelvic floor, all of the things that come to mind, those are the conditions that I commonly treat. And I'm a person helping people, and I help to improve your quality of life. Because not every condition is devastating, meaning that it's life-threatening or terminal, but there's many medical conditions that can really impact your joy, that can rob you of your happiness, or make you want to, afraid to leave the house. And so, women come and see me, we work together, we build a rapport, have a conversation, and I share information, and together we come up with a treatment plan to really help when it comes to their different conditions.
Fabulous. So if you are relating to what Dr. Johnson just said, you can find Dr. Johnson at Greater Boston Urology. So search for their website and you can have access to reaching Dr. Johnson that way. Dr. Johnson, thank you so much for being such a great friend and somebody that I can always count on. And thank you for always being there.
You're welcome. And you're amazing. And I want to say one thing, too, because you let the last caller say one thing. So I think I always laugh when you say that I am a force to be reckoned with. I think that, yes, certain people have that fire within them, but by working with you, you help me to own that voice. You help me to own that narrative. You help me to establish and stay true to that foundation. And I think everyone needs the Elix, in their life. So thank you for being you. Happy birthday, and continue the celebration.
Thank you. You have a wonderful weekend, and regards to your husband as well, Kevin. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Angel.
Bye.
It's time to take a commercial break. We're a little late for that, but we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back. And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Get a Grip with Coach Elix. I'm your host, Coach Elix. With me, my amazing co-host,
Stephen Frederick, an attorney and your friendly medium.
Stephen Frederick, and most importantly, my husband. And today, we are celebrating an incredible milestone, our 100th episode here on WARA 1320. And I am super excited, and, coincidentally, tomorrow is my birthday, so definitely lots to celebrate about. And Stephen, I know we have someone on the line, but before we get to them, I wanted to tell you that do you know that only about 74% of higher income podcasters have published more than 100 episodes?
I did not know that, but that is just another fabulous thing to hear.
Yeah, so that really means that we're doing something good, that we're reaching, we're doing something good. And, really, I often say that leadership is about purpose. And you and I, everything that we do is always, always guided by purpose.
Yes.
So with that said, let's take our next caller. Hello, this is Elix. Who is this?
Hi, my name is Susan. I might be familiar to you. I'm calling to wish you to offer you congratulations on your 100th episode. What a milestone! I have to acknowledge that.
Oh my God, Croaks! We call her Croaks, and we've known Susan I've known Susan for about 30 years, and Stephen, you've known Susan for how many?
Since high school.
Since high school. So
long time.
So, oh my God, Susan, thank you for calling. Thank you for acknowledging this milestone.
This is a big milestone. I mean, your show is so awesome. I'm usually listening on Friday, so this time I'm calling in and, just wanted to acknowledge because it's a big, it's a big milestone for you. So congratulations.
Thank you, Susan. And we love, our friendship, and we love everything that you bring up to us, and we're very thankful to have you in our lives as well.
Well,
you know what
same here.
Well, Crooks, what I love is that you've been in Elix's life since he came into my life, really, and so he has seen you, you have seen him, and just the growth, and you have a different perspective than a lot of people that just have more recently come into his life. So I love that. I love that, Crooks.
Well, I have to. I want to let you know, just on that too. It's so inspiring, to observe you guys, just how you're there for each other. I mean, you're true soulmates. It's amazing to see, and I just love it. So you're so perfect for each other. I think it's awesome. And
thank you. Thank you,
I love it. I love. Did you hear Susan? She said Stephen's perfect. Did you hear her?
Yeah, of course. That's the first thing I heard.
Stephen's perfect, and Elix is. Stephen's perfect, and he's trying to work for you, Elix, to get you perfect too.
He's making me better. But Susan, thank you for calling. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. And okay, take care.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
I love you, Sue.
And I hope Steve. Thank you. I hope, Stephen, that when Susan says that she loves what she sees in us, that our listeners get to experience our partnership. Because that's really what the essence of the show is all about. That's our foundation.
They do. Yeah, there's no question that they do.
Awesome. So we have another caller. Well, hello. Welcome to Get a Grip with Coach Elix. I'm Coach Elix. Who are you?
Hello, Coach Elix. I am
my
Mrs.
God.
K.
Miss K. Yay. Oh, talk about, I don't know who made up this list of people that we're going to call in.
It's a good list.
But whomever did it sort of, they honed in on people that we love and people we appreciate. Miss K is, well, first of all, I've known Miss K for a long time. Definitely, oh my goodness, since the 2000, so 23 years. And Miss K is somebody that has been super instrumental with Stephen and I, helping us with our LA business initiatives. And my goodness, Miss K, you are amazing. And I'm so happy that you're calling and celebrating our 100th episode.
Yay!
Yay! Clap in the background. Everyone's giving you a standing ovation. You just can't see them.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Miss Kay, what are you up to?
Well, in particular today, I wanted to call and wish you congratulations on your 100th episode. This is phenomenal, and I hope you know that. I hope that with people calling in, I'm sure you don't hear it enough at home. I'm sure you hear it all the time. But it's also great to hear it from other people. You're incredible. You are incredible as a human, as an individual. Your relationship with Steven is amazing.
Oh, Miss Kay.
Oh, that's so
We love
awesome.
you guys so much. Like, there are not words to express. They really aren't. Just how incredible you guys are. And what you're doing in your own individual world, your impact on everyone, everyone you interact with. You're so amazing, and you're so committed to others being their best versions of themselves. It's you two are one in a million. You're just incredible, and I just wanted to share that because I could tell you that every day. It still wouldn't be enough. Like, you guys are just amazing, and I want to wish you congrats and an early happy birthday because I'm so honored to know you and to be your friend.
Thank you.
And to just have met you in life. I think you're amazing.
Thank you. I am so privileged, and the honor is it's mine as well. So thank you, Ms. Kay, for coming, and joining. You do realize that Stephen is now, with tissues crying.
I can't even speak, Miss Kay. You just got me got me so emotional. Also, it's right back at you. When we come to LA, we really have one person that we know we have to see, and that's Miss Kay.
Oh,
always.
I mean, Felix, you unlocked my ability to love myself when I met you over 20 years ago. And that small act in that moment, I just feel like it opened the floodgates of my heart. Like, I love you guys so much. And you just gave me the ability to just express that to others instead of holding it in. And there's never going to be a way to show you how much I thank you and how much I appreciate it.
We appreciate you equally as much, and thank you so much for taking the time to call in and join us in this amazing milestone for us, and we look forward to seeing you very, very soon.
Whoop, whoop.
All right. Thank you.
We love you, Miss Kay.
We love you.
We love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh my God, that was so unexpected, Mark.
Wow.
Mark, Stephen.
She completely out of left field just got me so emotional.
I know. I feel exactly the same way.
Because we love her. I mean, that's not an exaggeration. When we go to LA, it's always the first person we have to reach out to, and the only person we have to make sure we see is her.
Yeah, and Miss Kay has been, she's just so genuine, and what she gives us is just, there's no words to describe how much gratitude I also have, for her. So. But Stephen, you know what? It's time. Let's take another commercial break, and when we come back, we'll continue to navigate this amazing conversation and continue to celebrate our 100th episode milestone and my birthday. We'll be right back. And hello, everyone. Welcome back to Get a Grip with Coach Elix. I'm your host, Coach Elix, and with me, my amazing co host,
Stephen Frederick is here.
Stephen the Medium, Stephen the Attorney, and Stephen, most importantly, my husband and my amazing partner in life. So, Stephen, today we're celebrating our 100th episode. What a milestone that is, and also my birthday. So I'm super excited, and I think we have somebody on the line. So, hello and welcome to Get a Grip.
Why, hello, guys. It's me, Matt. Wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
Oh my God! So today, oh my God! So we have another amazing filmmaker. This is Matthew Ryan Kondracki, who has been very recently on the show. So you could look up his episode. It's already been posted on the podcast. Get a Grip with Coach Elix. And Matthew, thank you for being here with us. Tell us what you're up to.
Well, it's been it's an honor to come and say happy birthday to you guys. And I just wanted to let you know on the day of your birthday at midnight of last night, the Dark Echoes is now on Amazon Prime, the first pilot.
Wow.
Amazing.
So, for those of listeners who may be listening for the first time, tell us about what that show is. And Stephen has played a very important part of that show. That's how we got to meet you.
Absolutely. So what the show is, we take mediums who go to locations, they know nowhere where they're going, and they're completely blindfold, and then they take off the blindfold and realizing where they are for the very first time and trying to connect with the spirits as they do the walkthrough. And then we do the investigations to confirm about what the mediums picked up and the stuff that's been going on there.
Wow. Stephen, what was it like for you to be part of a show that is very unusual because it's very different from what you do?
It was very, very different to almost to the extent that I almost didn't do it because I just thought I that's just not my genre. It's not my gig. But I got to tell you, it starts from the top because as soon as both of us, Elix, met Matthew, the experience just got better and better and better because Matthew was just so welcoming and just putting myself as open my eyes with the blindfold comes off and there's people just in cameras just staring at me, but just the previous conversations with Matthew just made me feel really comfortable, and it was outstanding. It really was. I did 2 episodes and it was phenomenal. It was such a great experience, and I cannot wait to see the episodes.
Your episode is in the process of being editing, and that would be episode 2 when it comes out on Prime.
Oh, wow. I love it, Matthew.
How awesome is that? So, Matthew, listen, I am so privileged that we got to meet you, that I get to know you, that I get to work with you, that I get to call you a friend. And I am so thankful that you took time to call in today to celebrate not only our 100th episode on the radio, but also my birthday. So thank you so much.
I will always take time out for you guys, no matter what I'm doing, how busy I am.
Thank you, thank you. So, how amazing! I tell you, not knowing who's going to be on the line leaves me like, oh my God, hello, this is amazing. Now, Stephen, you've been with me on the show since the get-go, and you had started your own show. What has this experience been like for you? Have you learned anything from being in the show? Have you noticed, any growth on myself as a radio host? What has this been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, of course, Elix, it leaps and bounds because my show is different in the set. Thanks, Mark. In the sense of, when I do through the static, it's just one call after another, and they're brief, and I'm reading people. Versus this format of your show is completely different. It's one, generally, if you have a guest, it's one guest through the entire show. So not only are you learning so much because you have been so terrific in selecting guests that not only give people knowledge and information, but really at the end of the show always makes you, if you listen to it, feel motivated, feel better about yourself, or just that light bulb moment pops on because of your guest, but obviously it's because of you're leading your show, you're asking the questions, you're extracting what you want from the guest to make them not, it's never about you. That's from your perspective, it's never about you. It's about how do I make the guest look the best, have the most exposure, just be so positive. But that is something, I think, as Frank said, it's an asset and a characteristic that a lot of people do not have. So yeah, I mean, I couldn't answer that question, or I could answer that question in about 2 hours because of everything I've learned from the show and from you.
Yeah, and for me, having you next to me, it's always given me, that reassurance that all it's going to be okay. I mean, we titled today's show "Celebrating a Journey," right? That started with one step, and I think that's really important because, of course, Steven started the radio show, his own radio show first. I was co-hosting with him, and we talked a little bit about, what it would be like for me to have my own show on the station. But at the time, I was petrified, like, oh my God, what am I going to talk about? How am I going to hold a conversation, with other guests? I've never done anything like that, and even doing the training with the station's managers, when he's training you, like on the radio, 1 second of silence is gonna sound like 1 minute of silence. So you got to be prepared to talk, and that was nerve wracking for me. But at the same time, I think it's important. This is important for me because this is really walking the walk, right? I really can't effectively coach people to step into doing something that's uncomfortable, if I'm not doing so myself. And really, all it takes is that first step, one step at a time. And the fact that I was willing to do it, and again, every episode was another step, and I just worry about that one episode. And I know that over the years, doing the show, I've grown myself. I'm more comfortable. I don't have that self-limiting chatter in the background. Believe it or not, I've been a coach for so long, but that self-limiting chatter doesn't ever go away. So if you're wondering, it just doesn't go away. You just have to learn to manage it better. And I do feel that over the years I've grown, and I've grown with the show as well.
Elix, I completely agree, and I'll tell you that I think one skill or characteristic that is very, very difficult to grab and hang on to and keep with you, and regardless of what level you are, but as you move up, so many times, you having your own business, now you have your own radio show, and just like anybody else in corporate America, that they're moving up and they're getting higher and higher and higher, so many times people forget and they become more self-absorbed, and the ego sort of takes over more so. Not that they're still not great people, but they lack the ability to be able to listen to people that either have different perspectives or want to be able to be open up to different subjects, and that's something that you have never lost. And I think you've gained traction, which is amazing, as you keep moving forward, because there's many times that you say to me, why don't you think about a subject for the show? And it's just something that you listen and you're open to, and you never come from a place of, I know it all. You always come from a place of, I may be right, and and I know all the people that have called in, the guests and people that know you, would agree with me. So.
Yeah, and that is so true, Stephen, because I'm constantly thinking about our listeners. What is it that they want to hear? Who are our listeners? What are they doing? What do you feel? That's the questions I ask myself. What can I provide for them so that it will make them better at whatever it is that they do? And I'm constantly thinking from that perspective, and I always tell my guests or people who may be interested in the show, if you want to be on the show, you have to come in knowing that our show is about providing our listeners with something of value. So if you're crystal clear what that is, awesome. If you're not, go back, think about it, and then get back to me when you're crystal clear about what is it? What do you have to offer our guests? Now we've had many guests, Stephen. Do you have anyone that you would say has been a particular guest that was a favorite, or a guest a conversation that you remember in particular?
Yeah, that episode that you had the medium on, I think he's called Stephen the Medium. That was my
Oh,
favorite. Yeah,
oh my God, Mark Clark,
yeah,
are you
that was
surprised about?
amazing. I mean, I mean, I hear he's extremely handsome. The level of his, his abilities, that was pretty wild. Alex, you know what? That's a hard question to answer because there were when we were just talking to Angel, when we were talking to Miss Kay, Frank, Matthew, all of them brought something so different to the episodes and to the guests. I mean, to the audience and to the listeners. That's a really hard one to. I mean, I think it's almost every single show. After we finish, I come downstairs. That was amazing. I didn't
Yeah.
want that to end, and that happened with Matthew. It happened with Frank, Angel, Miss Kay, like everybody.
Yeah, no, and there has been shows where I don't know the individuals, I don't know the topic, the subject that they're going to talk about, and then after the show, I'm like, wow, I could have listened to them for another hour,
Yeah.
or wow, I've learned a whole lot, from having this conversation. That to me, that's how I view it. Honestly, I think every single guest has brought something so different to the conversation. I'm fascinated. And even though I'm the one doing the interviewing with you, I often listen from the perspective of being another listener,
Right.
and just walking away with something valuable from the conversation. So, it is quarter off, so let's take another commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what we've been up to, what we are going to be doing, and much, much more. And what are you going to do to celebrate my birthday? I'm curious. I can't wait to hear all about that. So, we're going to take a commercial break, and we will be right back. And hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to Get a Grip with Coach Elix. I'm your host, Coach Elix. With me, my amazing co host,
Stephen the Medium.
Stephen the Medium, who happens to be also my amazing husband. And today we are celebrating our 100th episode, and it's all about um, celebrations and a journey that started with one step. And here we are, 3 years later, Stephen, celebrating 100th anniversary, and also my birthday. So, what are you gonna do for my birthday?
So the gift I gave you April 8th, 1993, of coming up to you, it's over. That doesn't last any longer. It's done. I got to come up with something else, huh?
You didn't just come up to me. You nearly, knocked me off onto the floor on the other side of the bar.
That is true.
So just saying. So
That is true.
nearly.
That is no exaggeration. I didn't know Elix. I met him in a club and walked up to him from behind and just pushed him. And he turned around with this very not happy look, like, "What are you doing?" And I just smiled. And 30 years later, we're still together. So
Here we are. But I will say, Stephen. So here's the deal, and you know this better than ever. So for me, I often feel as I celebrate every day. I'm grateful every day. I don't need anything other than what I already have, which is I have you, I have our boys, little Ricky, Django, the boys that are now in spirit, my Monito and Snowy and all of that. I have that. I have my family. I have everything, Stephen. And so, yeah, do I like cake? Absolutely. I love cake. But I really don't need, I mean, you know this. I never ask you. How many times have you asked me, what do you want? And my response is nothing.
I don't need anything.
I don't need anything. I really do. I'm super grateful for everything that I have.
Well,
That's
putting
enough for me.
with that said, Elix, I am still setting up for a fabulous weekend, taking you away Sunday and set the night up of dinner and a show. So we are going to have a fantastic time.
And where are we going?
To P-Town, to Provincetown.
Yeah, Provincetown is actually one of my favorite getaways, if not my favorite getaways. Local getaways, because of course, LA and Palm Springs, that also ranks pretty high on my list.
Yes.
But I'm super excited. Stephen, what are you up to? Why don't we take a few minutes to tell people what you're up to? Because you have a book coming on, and you're getting to the release of the book. So tell people what you're up to.
Right. So my book is inching very close to being a premiere date, which will be coming very soon. Right now, it's in the stage of being formatted, and the jacket, the cover, is all being designed. So I think there's a deadline for that, October 18th, and that should be completed. And after that, it is just picking the date that the book's coming out and doing the advertising. So, and I'm so excited about this book. The title is The Suicide Gift, and I think it's a book that it's going to certainly give you a lot of laughter. I think it may even give you some tears, but every single chapter, and I think there's 21 chapters, at the end of each chapter there is a little paragraph called Insight, and it connects to, always the theme of it is, it's an autobiography, but the theme of it is connecting to spirit. So those insights just give you what I think you need to get closer to your connection to spirit and see signs and just have a clearer, stronger connection. So I'm just so excited about it. And as Matthew said, his first season of Doc Echo's television show's coming out on Amazon Prime, and I cannot wait for that to be out because, as he mentioned, which I
It-
didn't
no,
know.
it's already out. It's already
No,
out.
no, I'm talking about my episodes.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
realize I was going to be the second episode.
Yeah,
So-
and you have 2 episodes. So
I
you're
have
gonna
2
be on-
episodes.
yes.
Yes, and I cannot wait. So that's another biggie that's coming out. And of course, things that, backstage that you and I are working on. And we've started our YouTube Sunday Nights with Steelix, which is just a lot of fun. So if you haven't checked us out, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube under my Stephen the Medium channel. It is live, and we combine the mediumship. So I do readings and Elix's amazing chef abilities, and he will teach you how to cook something. Last week was apple squash soup, right?
Yes, butternut squash soup.
Butternut squash soup.
It was
So
delicious.
yeah, and so that's what's going on.
Awesome. And our producer Mark, I know he wanted a few minutes to share something. I don't know what that something is. So, Mr. Mark, are you available?
Hello, I am here.
Hello, hello.
Everybody hears me okay?
We
Yes,
can hear you.
Yes,
All
we can.
right. First of all, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, and many more, of course. Secondly, 100 shows. I'm just so proud to be a part of it. I thank you for all the trust that you put in me to get this show on. And I've learned a lot myself, just listening to the show. You've helped me more than you'll ever really know.
Oh, thank you, Mark.
And we have something else to celebrate today.
We do?
Yes. Oh, you don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, this is a surprise. Okay. In 1972, President Richard Nixon issued Proclamation 4157 naming October 6th National Coaches Day.
What?
He encouraged activities and ceremonies honoring coaches for the friends and counselors they become. Coaching goes beyond athletics. Coaches benefit many facets of our lives. For example, individuals and businesses of all kinds often hire business coaches to advance their careers and expand their businesses. So from everybody here, happy Coaches Day. What you've done for people and for businesses is amazing, and we're so grateful and thankful, and I wanted to share that with you.
Oh my God, thank you. I had no idea, Stephen. No idea that October 6th is actually National Coaches Day. So
Alex, can you imagine the day you're doing the celebration of your 100th show, and it's National Coaches Day. If that's not spirit driven, I don't know what is.
I don't know. It feels unbelievable, really unbelievable. Mark, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
For looking that up. I mean, seriously, like that's just great.
Well, actually, it's a selfish thing in a way, because I do national days on my program, and I happened to come along for that one, and I said, well, I got to do this on the Elixir show.
Wow,
I love it. I love it. That's amazing.
Well, thank you. And so I wanna finish our show with highlighting that Get a Grip with Coach Elix has an incredible team behind the scenes that is the reason for the success that we've had over the last 100 episodes. And today I want to honor the team members and that have supported me over the years, the people that have been there by my side, supporting me, helping me grow, helping me expand. And first and foremost, there's no one else that I could be more grateful to have in my life than you, Stephen, because you are everything. You are my rock. You are my my inspiration. You are there for me in the good, uh, sometimes the bad and the ugly. Over the last several months, the dealing with my mom, her illness, her passing. I don't think I could have ever managed to get through that without you by my side. And you are the reason, one of the number one reasons, if not the reason, for the show to be here. Because if not for your own show and exposing me to that, this would not be a reality today. So I'm beyond gratitude. It's not something I can just express to you because it goes beyond that. Stephen. Of course, Mark, our producer, because again, how could we not be grateful for what you do, and for giving your time and your abilities so generously to both Stephen and I. I'm also grateful for Jim Jones, the general manager, the team at WARA 1320 for just being for everything that you guys do for helping us every time, every day to put on a great show. Over the years, I've been very lucky to have incredible assistants that have supported me, and they really make me look incredibly good. Lindsay Darling, who was with me for a long time, close to 15 years. Kathy Gallas, who took over in the interim and was so incredibly supportive of me. And of course now Florence, who, make me look very good very single day. And to all of my guests, past guests, and that have been with me, the ones that call in today, I am beyond grateful. Thank you for sharing your time, your expertise with myself, with Stephen, and our audience. And for all of you, lastly, for all of you who listen, who take time to listen to our show every Friday at 1 p.m., thank you. I am beyond grateful. And I hope that I can continue to inspire to keep listening so that you can step into being the best version of yourself. So with that said, if you can find me at Coach Helix anywhere on Instagram, social media, Facebook, LinkedIn. Stephen, how can people get a hold of you?
They can find me under Stephen the Medium, same thing. And I think next week, am I correct that Through the Static will be on?
That's right. So thank you for sharing that, because next week, October has been a little, odd because we had to move a few things around. But next week we are going to have Steven's show Through the Static, and then we'll resume our regular schedule for November. So tune in next week for an amazing show with Stephen. Anything else, Stephen, that you want to say before we complete?
Just that I am extremely proud of you, and not surprised at all. Just like I think Angel said, Dr. Johnson, not surprised at all of not only where you are right now, Helix, but continuing just to get better and better. So.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for listening. And we will see you again Through the Static with Stephen the Medium next Friday at 1 p.m. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.